Karl-Anthony Towns came out and he said, yo, I'm having trouble understanding this offense. I don't understand my role. We heard him repeat that at a different press conference. This was him after losing 4 games. Karl-Anthony Towns being blamed. He's a scapegoat for all you cat lovers. But guess what? We don't care. Karl-Anthony Towns responding to the meeting that the players had after a 4-game losing streak.
Is it frustrating going through that adjustment, or how are you handling that adjustment?
I just lean on my experience. I've unfortunately had to adjust to a lot of head coaches, and a lot of new teammates and situations and stuff. So I'm just leaning on my experience and knowing, we gotta do what I gotta do to move forward.
You gotta do what you gotta do to move forward, AllBall. The problem is, I don't know if I see much of a difference between that Karl-Anthony Towns and DJ Zulu. Did a great job of pointing out. He sounds the same from a couple months ago. You see, October 25th, 2025. It's Karl-Anthony Towns to start the season.
How do you see yourself in this new offense?
Honestly, I don't know. But we figuring it out. I said, but honestly, I just don't know.
Yes, you have the biggest adjustment in this new system, you have Mike Brown's system. Is it frustrating going through that adjustment, or how are you handling that adjustment?
I just lean on my experience. I've unfortunately had to adjust to a lot of head coaches, and a lot of new teammates and situations and stuff. So I'm just leaning on my experience and knowing, we gotta do what I gotta do to move forward.
I don't know. Don't see much of a difference there with Karl-Anthony Towns. October, a couple days ago, and a couple videos we could get through, because we also seen last year around this time pretty similar words, AllBall. The same feeling we're having now. I don't know how it sounds any different. And Josh Hart had to remind everybody, this ain't about any individual egos.
We are focused. We give off the right energy. We can't have our own individual agendas. Can't do any of that. We got to make sure we're locked in on this team, sacrificing for the team, and go out there and play. Go out there and execute at a high level. We have to go out there with energy. We have to go out there with no egos. We have to go out there with no individual agendas. We have to go out there and sacrifice. I think that's the biggest thing. We're a new group. We're still learning and still figuring it out, but we can't expect to just have talent and go out there and win games. We got to lock in and compete. I think we lost the game because we came out and didn't do anything we were supposed to do. Like I said, we didn't come out with energy. We didn't come out to execute. We didn't come out, willing to sacrifice. We didn't do anything. The ball's on our court.
Ball's on our court. That's how we were feeling last year. And it just seems to be the pattern now. Start the year off, cats confused. Last year, we were talking about who had an ego. There was rumors that it was OG Anunoby, who we will get on in a second, because I'm the biggest OG fan, but I ain't happy with you. After Brian Windhorst did report that a couple of days ago, it's kind of like we knew it already anyway. But now it's not changing, AllBall. Like, what are we looking forward to now with Karl-Anthony Towns? What are we feeling right now, being that he still looks the same that he did 2 months ago?
My body language, my face, I'm very aggravated and upset. Like, I don't see this getting any better. We're on a 4-game losing streak, but our last 3 games we got blown out. 2 of those were at home. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out with Karl-Anthony Towns, how did he get away this long with putting up the numbers he's been putting up? Like, when you really watch him, and I advocated for him. I was the one years ago saying I'll take him and get rid of Julius Randle, which I still don't want Julius Randle, but now I don't want Cat. Cat is a bitch. Let's call it what it is. Like, that's just what it is. Those 2 clips at the podium, he's like a bitch. No mannerism, no toughness, no nothing. Just sitting there, just taking it. Bruh, This is all his fault. Now, when you really think about it, this is all his fault. Listen, man, when Brian Windhorst said what he said, as far as like, the plan that Mike Brown has, and the plan is working to a certain extent, that just means Pat is not okay with that, because you know the what Josh Hart is talking about, guys having their individual agendas. He's talking about Cat. Cat is not happy with the second round guys and going deep into the bench. He wants his shots. He wants his numbers. So he's not willing to make no sacrifice to try to win a championship. That's evident. Evident. When you have 6 points and 1 rebound and probably 4-5 turnovers, that right there lets me know who you are. I'm sorry. Um, Cat is the problem, and we need to trade Cat. I don't see the situation getting better. Cat looks unhappy. Um, Cat looks upset, and you can tell he wants to be something he's not. The money that he's making, in his mind, he's a superstar. In his mind, he's the number one option. In his mind, he's still top 10, top 15 best players in the NBA. And he's neither one of those things. I'm trying to figure out how has he gotten away with this? Cat is not a good basketball player. I'm sorry. I'm blaming this all on Cat. Just the way his body language is at the podium and in games. Listen, him and Brunson doesn't get along, and we all know when two players don't get along, you have to move one of them. We know it's not going to be Brunson. So I'm just trying to figure out what's taking so long for them to move Cat. Like I told you, at this point, if it ain't for Giannis, it got to be for something. But I think Cat is he's the one that's spoiling everything. I think his bad energy, his bad vibes, his individual agendas that Josh Hart is talking about, I think is having an effect on everyone. Cat is not happy. He's making it known. And I don't think he's happy with Mike Brown's uh plans as far as for him on the basketball court. I don't think Cat cares about winning a championship. I think Cat cares about averaging whatever he wants to and be popping and just live his life with his wife. He gives two fucks about competing and wanting to play basketball. Get Cat the fuck out of here. Straight up. I'm over Cat. I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want to look at him. It's not going to get any better, Fabian. I don't see it. I don't see us with the no chemistry. It just, how do you have two players that at one time was one of the best duos in the NBA? Cat was considered the best three-point shooting big man in the NBA. At one time, Cat was considered an all-star, all-NBA third team, one of the best centers in the league. How do you go from that to this? And then the effect you have on everybody, Brunson at one point, best player in the East. Now you lucky if he's the fourth or fifth best player in the East. Brunson, MVP candidate, top 5. Is he even top 10 at this point? One of the best point guards in the league. Really? So for me, I think Cat's effect on the basketball team is hurting us tremendously. And I think eventually we will get rid of him, because I think he's just going to continue to play poorly, especially against good teams. You can't fool me with the bad teams. I want to see how you play against the good teams. And so far, terrible. Cat has to go.
I think it's easy to say he has to go. It's a real I never wanted him here in the first place. And I think after the beginning of last season, he proved me dead wrong. And then we still made the conference finals. We still weren't playing defense last year until the playoffs. And I personally believe Karl-Anthony Towns has played better defensively this season, but it's like Jalen Brunson playing better defense. After a while, it's like, bro, you're supposed to have been doing that, because Jalen Brunson is horrible. And there's going to be a choice here. They made a lot of trades, a lot of finagling just to get Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges here, who's another culprit. They can't maintain this level of excellence. They can't maintain a level of greatness for whatever reason. I don't know why the great ones do what they do. I'm not going to be in the Hall of Fame or nothing. So we don't know how they tick. We just sit here and are fans and we compare, this guy's great and this guy's not. And I don't know necessarily why. I'm just telling you what it is. And y'all keep trying to convince me that he was. And I knew from watching him in Minnesota, it's like, this is nothing new. But I saw Ant-Man pushing Cat regardless, calling him the best offensive player on the team. And can he do more? Yeah. But Brunson and these guys are gonna have to start to figure out, try something new with
But
him.
but hold on. But hold on. Ask yourself, please. I would like you to answer that. Can Cat do more? Like seriously, can he?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what? Is he capable? Is he capable of doing more? Is he capable of playing better defense? My opinion, no. Is he capable of being dominant? No. Is he capable of getting the important tough rebounds which we've seen him miss in Philly over Paul George? No. So I'm just trying to figure out what can what can he do if it's not in his makeup? Think about this, Fabian. This is the second star. This might be the third. Porzingis was complaining he wasn't happy here. We know when Julius Randle left, you seen that statement he made, how he was smoking every day and he was unhappy. Now you have another player in Karl-Anthony Towns who was unhappy. Listen, man, this ain't for the weak. This is not for the weak. If you're not going to come in and give your all and sacrifice and try to something win a championship, this is not for you. See, people see the crowd and the fans and the love and all the praise they get. But once you start playing bad and we start losing, now you see that criticism. Now y'all want to tuck and hide. Listen, man, I understand where you're going, but I don't know if Cat can get any better. And that's the million-dollar question. Please said it last season about Brunson. Can he step it up and get better? And before this little 4-game loser streak, we were so high praising Brunson. It seems like Cat can't get any better. Seems like he can get worse.
Well, I think that the Knicks can be better, and we've played better. And let's play this clip of Mike Brown real quick on what the Knicks have been doing passing wise this season, and lead me to my point.
Yeah, it's no, it's not Jalen. And we watched it today. Our last game, we had our lowest pass total. I think we had 229 passes for the game, and we're averaging a little over 290. And it's big. When you talk about 70 less passes in one game, it's a big difference. And I showed our guys today we had opportunities where we could have got off the ball sooner, and that's across the board. We had opportunities where we touched the paint and we could have sprayed it, but we tried to finish and got our shot blocked. So you got to give Detroit credit. Good defensive team. They were ready for us. They were hungry for us. But there's still a right way to play that we know we're more than capable of. And then there's not. And we didn't play our best basketball last night. So trying to play our best basketball is something that we strive for every single day.
I don't know who's striving for necessarily, because again, I just seen a quote from Mike Tomlin where he said, "Don't tell me what people are capable of doing. Tell me what they're willing to do. And the only way you can show me what you're willing to do is just by doing it. Everything else doesn't really matter." So with what you're saying, of course, with Cat, that is what it is. We haven't been seeing you on the court performing, but even with when Jalen Brunson called out Cat the other day with the foul calls, it turned into Cat responding by saying, "I'm going to keep doing my thing. Maybe I'll have to change my game up a little bit if that's what they're trying to tell me I need to do." The refs didn't tell anyone else that, but they're telling me that maybe I have to do that. Then Jalen Brunson, of course, said the refs have meetings, they watch film, they do their homework. I think they go into games figuring out that what they need to watch for. And Cat just had to do a better job of not using his off arm. We tried to explain that to him, and he's getting better at it. I think even the minor contact stuff that he does gets called for offensive fouls. So even with that, you're trying to send a message to him, and if he's doing a better job, okay, he's doing a better job. We didn't see him really fouling against the Pistons. I don't think they had a chance to do anything. And with the Pistons, they just play a flat out, different, physical type of game. Karl-Anthony Towns, at some point, you still got to get through to him somewhat, because we saw even when Ant-Man called him out. This is going back to when he's on Minnesota, Game 4 after a game in the playoffs, and Ant-Man called out Karl-Anthony Towns at the press conference, and I don't think there's a nicer way you can do this, AllBall. Like he just that's his man, and this is game 4 of the playoffs. Got something to say to you, Cat? What are we talking about?
Say tonight he wasn't in foul trouble. Like the first 3 games, the mother just kept fouling. And tonight I told him, what did I tell you last game?
He said, "Yo,
We
can
ain't
you
gonna-
find a way not to foul him?" I said, "I'm gonna try."
Like
my best."
if you watch the game, every time in the third quarter when we would grow a lead, it's because he's in the game. Because they don't have a matchup for him. I'm like, Cat, we're not gonna win game 4 if you foul. I told him yesterday, we're not gonna win game 4 if you keep fouling. You keep fouling. And you see what he did in the third quarter. You see what he did in the fourth quarter. Like he's like I always tell you, he's the best offensive player on the team. Like if he's not in foul trouble, it's a problem for any team that got a guard us because he can stretch the floor, he can post, he can play off the catch, he can pass. I mean, he can do everything. So we just got to keep him from getting in foul trouble, man. He's gonna be great every night.
Probably because I was trying to play more defense.
I mean, just stop fouling.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man is not playing with him. Ant-Man is sitting there. He's not playing with him. He's not laughing. Cat is trying to laugh about it. But this is the same guy you traded for. So my thing was, okay, my optimism is then you guys must know how the coaches do differently than what Ant-Man and Chris Finch are doing over there. And for the first part of last season, after that Miami game, when Cat went ballistic on Bam, he looked like the guy that you were talking about that I never seen before. I don't think anybody would have vouched for that Karl-Anthony Towns unless you are Karl-Anthony Towns fans. But there still has to be a different approach. If you try talking to him already, Jalen Brunson tried talking to him about fouls and talking to the refs, but then to me contradicted himself by going at the refs. There's something that y'all are not letting him feel comfortable with expressing himself. Karl-Anthony Towns should be able to establish himself with the players and the head coach. For me, it's different than what Josh Hart is saying. How come Jalen Brunson's allowed to have an ego, but Cat can't have an ego? Fuck it. Go out there and hog the ball. You got to do something different. Brunson, somebody got to be able to tell Cat, yo, dog, you 7 feet. At the end of the day, the pick and roll shit ain't working with you and Jalen Brunson and his short ass arms. There has to be a different approach to this because you're not going to sit here and they're going to choose what team you go to next. Is that what you want? Because that's what it's leading to. You have to feed into his ego. He doesn't have enough of an ego on the court, in my opinion. He has an ego for Instagram shit. He has an ego for what he thinks we want to see off the court, but he's never had enough of an ego on the court, to me, because he would be so way more prideful about working underneath the three-point line. Shooting, being the best big man shooter of all time is he doesn't even realize he lacks self-awareness when he says that. Bro, you're 7 feet tall and you're proud of that? Dirk wasn't really proud of that till he got over the hump against Miami. That shit really wasn't a thing. We weren't really screaming for Dirk. Like, we thought he was unstoppable. But until he showed improve against Miami, we wasn't feeling that. Steven Jackson checked you. This other guy checked you. The Golden State Warriors checked you. And who was it before? After that, Miami beat them before that. So all these things are leading me to believe that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't have enough of an ego. And for a guy to be a number 2, which means that sometimes you're a number 1. And boy, oh boy, did we need him that last night and throughout the season to be a number 1 at times. He doesn't have enough of an ego to be a number 1. And I think they're sending the opposite message to Karl-Anthony Towns that they should be. Bro, go ball out. Go make Brunson mad. Fuck it. What's he going to do to you? You 7 feet tall.
Well, yeah, everything you're saying, and majority of it, I disagree. Pat hogging the ball, you see what he does 9 times out of 10 when he gets the ball. He looks terrible. Everybody looks terrible when they got the ball, except Brunson. Let's call it what it is. Now, Brunson has to get some flack. You cannot be a point guard and have 0 assists in any game. That is unacceptable. But, I've heard you a lot of times say, Cat needs to do this, needs to do that, be aggressive, take the ball, this and that. Listen, man, I watched him yell for the ball, scream for the ball, and when Brunson gave it to him, he turned it over. So, at this point, what I'm realizing is Mike Brown came in and implemented a certain offense, a certain style of basketball, and it doesn't complement Karl-Anthony Towns. And Karl-Anthony Towns is not feeling that. That's what this is all about. Karl-Anthony Towns wants to be the main person. He wants to be the focal point. He wants to be the center of attention. When last time you heard Dipset Cat? When the last time you seen him wear the Dipset leather with the big jeans and the constructs? When have you seen any of that swag? You haven't seen it all season. Why? Because Karl-Anthony Towns is caught up in himself. He's not worried about the team's success. He's worried about Cat's success. Mike Brown implementing his new offense, which, by the way, is great because Mike Brown seen last season, okay, this what didn't work for the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau. Guys need rest. We need guys to be healthy and have enough energy into the playoffs. So let me implement some of these younger guys and let them get some game under their feet and let some of our guys get some rest and not play damn near 40+ minutes a night. That means less touches for Cat. That means less minutes for Cat. Cat is not willing to sacrifice any of that. And what is it doing? It's hurting the team. It's a detriment to the team. Now, everybody else is not having a great season either. Like I said, up until now, Brunson has been playing bad. OG and Bridges. But listen, by Cat being a second option and maybe the number one option at times and being traded and brought over here to get us over the hump, how can we not blame Cat? Bridges and OG wasn't brought here to get us over the hump. It was Karl-Anthony Towns. Everybody else was brought here for us to be a good basketball team. Cat was brought here to get us over the hump and potentially win a championship and look like a championship contending team night in and night out and be a Batman or Robin on any given night to Brunson. And at this point, he's Alfred. Like, so for me, I don't think it's no fixing Cat. I think the only thing to fix Cat is to send him somewhere where, you know, he doesn't care about winning. Because all Cat want to do is shoot threes. And like you said, get the love, get the big money, and be fly on Instagram. Because like I said, you could tell there's no sacrifice. There's no, okay, you know, I'm having a poor night tonight. Let me get a big block. Let me get a big rebound. Let me get a big defensive stop. Let me dive on the floor. Let me give up energy. You don't see guys clapping for nobody. You don't see no guys on the sideline yelling when the young guys make plays. You don't see any of that from Cat. I expect that from Cat and Brunson. I don't expect that from nobody else. So for me, I don't see no fixing this. The only fix I see is getting Cat the hell out of here.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.